Imagine waking up one morning, but instead of seeing the world through your memories, you see it as if for the very first time. The colors sharper, the air lighter, the faces around you no longer heavy with old stories, just life, raw, immediate, unfiltered. Imagine walking down the same streets you've known for years, but noticing the way sunlight spills between the cracks of broken sidewalks, how the wind brushes against your skin like a forgotten song. You realizing that the heaviness you carried was never the world itself, it was the way you saw the world. Ever wonder why, even after success, love, achievement, a quiet ache still lingers? Maybe it's not your life that's broken. Maybe it's the lens you're looking through. Thousands of years ago, a man named Siddhartha Gautama, the Buddha, set out not to escape the world, but to see it clearly. And in that seeing, he found something we have all been searching for. Freedom, not from life, but from the illusions we weave around it. What if your greatest healing isn't in changing your circumstances, but in awakening your sight? What if the freedom you seek is already here, waiting quietly for your eyes to truly open? Today, we are not learning something new. We are remembering what was always there. Have you ever wondered what it would be like to truly see, not just to look, but to see? Part 1. The illusion of the self. We grow up weaving a story about ourselves, a name, a nationality, a series of memories we call me. We carry it like a badge, forgetting that it was never something we chose. It was given, layer upon layer, like clothes sewn for a journey we did not yet understand. Buddhist psychology teaches us that the self, as we know it, is not a singular thing. It's a tapestry, woven from passing thoughts, shifting emotions, fleeting sensations, form, feeling, perception, mental formations, consciousness. These are the threads, but we mistake the weaving for the weaver. And so we cling to a mask that keeps changing shape, wondering why we feel exhausted holding it in place. Have you ever felt that quiet confusion? The sense that you are playing a role too small for your soul? That's not failure. It's your deeper being whispering, this is not all you are. The Buddha didn't reject the world. He simply saw through it. He saw that clinging to an identity, even a noble one, was like grasping at clouds. No matter how tightly you close your fist, the sky cannot be captured, and so suffering arises not because the world is cruel, but because we keep trying to make the shifting permanent. We keep trying to build a house out of river water, and when the water slips through our hands, we call it betrayal, when it was only nature. Pause for a moment. Feel the pulse of breath within you. Notice how every sensation flickers, how every thought arises and dissolves. You are not what passes through you. You are the space it moves in. You are not the face you show the world, nor the story you tell yourself before you sleep. You are the open awareness underneath it all. Boundless, changing, yet somehow always whole. When you stop chasing a fixed self, you begin to move with life, instead of against it. When was the last time you paused long enough to notice you are more than the story you tell yourself? Part 2. Awareness versus thought. Most of the time, we believe we are awake. We go to work, answer messages, solve problems, and feel the ticking urgency of life rushing past us. But if you listen closely, if you sit with yourself even for a minute, you may notice something strange. Your mind isn't seeing the world. It's talking about the world. It's naming, judging, remembering, predicting. It's not meeting life. It's narrating it. Thought is a useful tool, sharp and brilliant, but it is only a tool. It rearranges what is already known, like a painter mixing old colors on a familiar palette. It cannot create a new sky. It cannot touch the mystery of this moment. Awareness, however, is different. Awareness is the raw seeing. Before the mind rushes in to label what is seen, it's the silent noticing of the breath entering and leaving your body. The way light softens as evening falls, the gentle ache behind a goodbye. Have you ever looked at a sunset without thinking about it, not naming the colors, not comparing it to yesterday, but simply letting it pour into you, in that rare, quiet seeing? There is no distance between you and the world. You are not the observer, you are the being. The Buddha understood this subtle shift. He taught that true freedom is not achieved by mastering thought, but by stepping beyond it, into the vastness of awareness. This does not mean abandoning thinking. It means recognizing its place. Use thought to navigate, but return, again and again, to the stillness that sees without needing to understand. In awareness, life is no longer a series of problems to solve. It becomes a series of miracles to witness. You begin to realize the answers you were desperately thinking to find were waiting quietly in the spaces between thoughts. When you dwell in awareness, you no longer chase life, you become life itself, moving, breathing, awake. And maybe the real question is not, how can I fix my life? But rather, am I truly seeing it? Can you remember a moment when you saw something so clearly? It took your breath away, without a single thought attached. Part 3: Suffering is a misunderstanding. Suffering often feels like a punishment, doesn't it? As if life is weighing you down unfairly. As if you've somehow fallen out of favor with the universe. But what if suffering isn't a punishment at all? What if it's a misunderstanding? Buddhist psychology invites us to see. Suffering is not born from what happens to us, but from how we grasp at what happens. We imagine life should move according to our plans. We imagine love should stay when it wants to leave. We imagine health should endure when it, too, must change. And when reality moves differently than our wishes, we ache, not because life betrayed us, but because we mistook desire for destiny. The Buddha taught that all conditioned things are impermanent. Friends will part, bodies will weaken, dreams will shift. This is not cruelty. It is the natural unfolding of life. The mistake is believing that by holding tighter, we can stop the river from flowing. Have you ever tried clinging to water in your hands? The harder you squeeze, the faster it escapes. It is not the water's betrayal. It is the misunderstanding of its nature. Likewise, much of our suffering arises from clinging to people, to identities, to outcomes, and refusing to accept their changing essence. When we let go of the demand that life obey our will, a strange and beautiful thing happens. Pain may still come, as it does with any living being, but the suffering, the heaviness, begins to dissolve. You realize you are not being punished, you are being invited. Invited to loosen your grip, to open your hands, to move with life instead of against it. Suffering, then, becomes not an enemy, but a teacher. It whispers, nothing can be held forever, but everything can be loved while it's here. Can you hear that whisper? Can you soften, just a little, into the ever-moving river of your life? Have you ever tried to hold on ... only to realize that what you were gripping had already changed? Part 4: Freedom through seeing clearly. Freedom is often imagined as a faraway place, a golden shore beyond the storms of life. But real freedom, as the Buddha discovered, is not found by escaping the world. It is found by seeing the world clearly. When you see clearly, you no longer need to fight every sorrow or cling to every joy. You no longer mistake every ending for a failure, nor every success for a permanent home. You understand that all things, even your most precious dreams, are waves upon the sea, beautiful, powerful, but destined to rise and fall. Freedom, then, is not control, it's trust. Trusting that life, in all its seasons, is enough. Have you ever watched a leaf fall from a tree in autumn? It does not resist the pull of gravity. It does not cling desperately to the branch. It lets go, spinning gracefully through the air, carried by the unseen hands of the wind. This is freedom, not the absence of change, but a willingness to dance with it. The Buddha did not ask us to numb ourselves, he asked us to awaken, to see the heartbreak and the beauty woven together, inseparable as breath and life, and in that seeing, to walk gently through this world, without chains of expectation or fear. Freedom begins the moment you say, I trust what comes, I trust what leaves, and I trust the open space they leave behind. Can you feel that spaciousness? It has been waiting for you all along. Reflection, bringing it home. Are you ready to remember who you have always been, before the world told you otherwise? You are not lost. You have simply been dreaming. Dreaming through the stories, fears, and hopes you inherited. But the door to waking has always been open. You are not the roles you play, the labels you carry, or the memories you cling to. You are the open awareness watching it all unfold. Patient, still, eternal. The Buddha's path was not to build a new self, but to unearth the one that was never lost. A self not rooted in grasping, but in being. Today, perhaps, is not the day to fix yourself, nor to chase a brighter future. Today is the day to open your eyes, to see, truly see, the fleeting miracle of breath, the softness of light, the mystery in every step. Today is the day to remember that you were never broken. You were only looking through a glass to fold with longing. And now you are ready to wipe it clean. You are ready to live. Thank you for looking.